I don't know what's going to happen. They may not let me out. They may not let us talk. They'll probably snatch my phone away and whatnot. Anything could happen. We were anticipating the worst. Hi, this is Abhinav.
Hi, I'm Manvi.
So we're here to share our intercaste marriage story. I'm a Hindu. She's a Jain. I know Hindus and Jains were different until I had to get to know that.
So I always thought of them as a taboo. I felt like that was the wrong thing to do for a very, very long time.
Marrying someone out of your religion.
Yeah, even liking someone out of your religion was like
Okay.
out of the question. The only way I kind of got out of thinking about intercaste or interreligion marriages was through college. I academically studied sociology and like all of the institutions, and I realized I didn't even believe in like marriage. I didn't believe in these institutions. So that point forward, I felt like they didn't exist for me.
For me, that journey sort of began right after I was born. Dad was in the Indian Air Force for the longest time, and in military, you know, when they say that India is our religion, they actually mean it. My first best friend was a Christian. I had friends who were Muslim. I had friends who were Sikh. It was always so secular as it's made out to be. That I mean, it never felt like, you know, these people were different because we shared the same buses, we went to the same schools, we had the same friends. You know, I loved the plum cakes that Christians have in Christmas, and I used to go for Eid as well. It was actually very secular. So I actually never, you know, saw those boundaries. And even in school, we were taught that, you know, God is one, and, you know, believe in just one God. And also, it was part of my conditioning to not see these gaps. Although I see these gaps today, free world, open world, there are a lot of polarizing thoughts and polarizing narratives, and I can see how people can choose to believe in the things they do. It was definitely her family.
My family. Yeah.
Because again, my family was always open to these things. They might have had some reservations had you not been a Jain and, you know, farther apart from Hinduism. I don't know, I'm just only speculating, but they were pretty cool. I mean, they were like, okay, so she met my family sometime before I met her family. I introduced you know, her as hi dad, you know that we're together, I'm thinking of getting married to her. It was like, cool, I saw this coming, and it was really chill. It never was a problem. How was it for you?
It was very difficult for us because our family was quite the tough nut to crack. Well, if I thought that I couldn't like someone outside of my caste, obviously they were a little bit of a tough nut to crack. But I think they really, really evolved when it came to me. I've seen siblings and cousins and a ton of them, you know, not go through with something like this because the job of making them aware or the job of convincing them would have been too hard. But I think in my case, they were a little more like, okay, you're the last one, we'll see. Yeah, they were a little more lenient with me. Like, they were annoyed as hell. And they were like, what the hell, you've dated someone for so long and you didn't tell us. And they actually never had a problem with him or his family or any of those things actually. They felt betrayed. They were like, how can you do this to us, sort of a thing, more than anything else. It was so unfamiliar to them. They did, imagine I'm the 20th member of the family. There's nobody in this family that's gone outside of our current community, and, you know, they don't know the world outside of that. So they were actually more hesitant and careful more than they were like, oh, izzat and this and that. They were more, okay, but what if something goes wrong tomorrow? How do we fix it? Because we don't know these people, we don't know their community.
Right.
So, yeah.
So I actually belong to Delhi. That's, you know, where my parents have been brought up. I was brought up all over the country. So, but again, you know, that Delhiite vibes I have. So, you know, how her family thinks of Delhi, they've never really been to Delhi, and they've not interacted with Punjabis much. So, before they actually saw me, they used to think that, okay, I'll be, you know, some turban-clad Sikh.
Really?
I mean, that's what they thought of Punjabis. Every Punjabi is a Sikh. I remember having to clarify this multiple times. But then, you know, the specific connotations of Patiala peg and eating meat with alcohol every day, you know, that's the lifestyle, sitting on a cart. So, wo sab kuch, that is a perception, you know, that she had to initially battle, and then I had to initially battle that, okay, no, not all Punjabis are like that. So what happened, for the first 3-4 months, she expected the worst. She was like, I don't know what's going to happen. They may not let me out. They may not let us talk. They'll probably snatch my phone away and whatnot. Anything could happen. We were anticipating the worst. So none of that happened. one by one family members from US, from Gujarat, from Mumbai, from whatever cities, wherever her extended family is, they would be calling and they'd be like, okay, cool, let's get you out of this, let's show you more boys and whatnot. And then one fine day, I remember, she managed to nag them into meeting me.
Before they met him, they obviously tried to say that, oh my god, don't do this. But when I didn't listen, they went to like a Jyotish. And the Jyotish basically...
How many Jyotishs?
7 Jyotishas.
Okay. Not one. Across how many countries?
Not countries.
Across how many states?
Just some 2-3 cities.
Okay. 7 astrologers across 3 cities.
Obviously, for none of the astrologers, the Kundli was matching. I mean, not obviously, could have been anything. And they all believe in Kundli also staunchly. They're like, okay, fine. Inter-religion, fine. We'll at least see Kundli. If Kundli is matching, we'll have some, like backing on our side. And I was like, that's not going to give you any backing, but please go ahead and do what makes you feel better. And obviously, we're a 16.5 and we're supposed to have at least 18 on 36.
On the Kundli points, okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, the math didn't go well.
Didn't go well.
Okay, yeah. So they found something. They were like, okay, your Kundlis don't match.
Yeah. But the thing is that I went all, no, but I don't believe in Kundli. Can you please meet the boy? Can you please meet the boy? Fine, if you meet him and you still think that this is not going to work out, which I was actually totally willing to do. Like if they didn't think the boy or the family was okay for them, I was like totally willing to listen to them if they gave me good enough reason. But, and I had told him that from day one, I think.
I don't remember, but go ahead. News to me, okay. After like 3-4 months of back and forth, Kundlis, Jyotishis, relatives, everyone coming and all the Rona Dhona, one fine day, her family, an extended family. So what happens in a Gujarati Jain family is it's a family decision. It's sort of like a panchayat that sits with the head of the family and all the brothers and everyone, all the decision makers in the house. It's a round table that happens. So they came to her house and I was also brought there. I didn't know what to do because I was going by myself. My parents lived in Delhi, so I was here by myself. No one really talked to me. They didn't even say hi, hello. I was doing the namastes and whatnot. And I was making small talk.
He also told us about apple and orange trees for some reason. He was so nervous because there are 7
No one was
people
talking. I had to fill the silence. I had to be like,
You
okay,
need
cool.
to-
What will you respond to? Apples, oranges, relatives. Another thing, I don't understand Gujarati. They were talking amongst themselves in Gujarati. And I didn't know jack shit. Another meeting happened, which happened in closed doors. I met the head of the family in closed doors. It was like more,
I have no idea about this.
it was more of a one-on-one, or they were like, will you keep her happy? This is what we think of Punjabis. You guys drink a lot, eat chicken, etc., etc. I was like, okay, you probably think of me as a Great Indian Laughter Challenge. But yeah, I was like, no, that's not how we work. We're nice and sober people. Then another meeting happened when my family was called over.
So they met him, then they met his family because his family was over in Bangalore. That meeting actually went really well. They really liked their family, but they had their concerns. They were like, you don't know these people, you don't know their culture. And I was like, it's fine, I'll manage you, don't worry. And then they were like, okay, we'll think about it. And this happened in September, and I have heard nothing from them. I live with them for
The next 5-ish
4 months, yeah. Only in February next.
And for those 5 months, my family was just like, hey, we've done our part. The ball is in their court. That's exactly what happened so we waited for 5-6 months. And then suddenly something happened.
Their thing was the no needed to come from me, and my thing was the no needed to come from them. So we basically reached a point where nobody was saying no. Then it was like, okay, nobody is saying no, so
Gotta move it forward.
Got to take action.
Age is running out, no? Yeah, so that's how it happened. They came over one fine day. The head of family said, he was like, okay, hamari taraf se to green signal hai, aap bataiye. That was crazy. And beyond that, I think there's been no looking back.
And we were like, finally.
Yeah, so it's been nice ever since then. Our family's been really nice. I'm seeing a very different version of the family. It's been roughly 5 months since the green signal. We got engaged. Now they just love me, and I'm just like, oh my god, where were you guys? Like, I needed a family in Bangalore, and I finally have one. So
Parents in India also encourage you to have friends within the same community, hang out with the same kind of people.
For me, it was like make friends with Air Force officers' kids.
See? So there is always one little
Sort of a
filter.
community, yeah.
There, everybody expects be friends with these kind of people. So then in the future there is no stress.
Right.
And now there is a matrimonial website where you can find people that are only from IIMs or IITs.
I think it's always some
like-
community like that your family really attaches to. Here it's
Yeah.
probably Jen. I think in my case it would be
Air Force.
or IIT. Absolutely. I think the fact that we've gotten through and a lot of intercaste marriages are happening, we've started there.
But for most, it doesn't matter whether you're urban or rural or which tier you belong to. I think it's not just an Indian thing. You'll see that there's some kind of classism or casteism or racism or my mum is okay with anybody, but just that the girl has to be fair. Or my mum is okay with anybody, just that she needs to speak this language. Or she needs to be this educated or needs to make this much money.
Small community.
Yeah, okay. Okay with anybody comes with many terms and conditions. And what you have experienced is
again a small community
very
that is
small community.
okay with intercaste.
Yeah.
Multiple communities aren't.
Yeah. And more importantly, now we're leveraging tech to improve our classism and casteism with all our Bharat, Shadi, whatever matrimony. I don't see an end to it. Most definitely not in the next, say, 20-30 years.